You're such an asshole.
Got kind of a charitable video request, and since it's going to help out a lot of other young men and some women out there too, I decided to give them a little bit of a discount because I'm fucking nice. Actually, it's not that. It's because this will be a popular video. I presume it will be. And it'll just make me more money. It'll bring in more clients. I rarely do anything truly and genuinely charitable. Young man writes, "Hey asshole, I don't need help this time, but thought this video could help younger men. Please make a video about Oneitis and how if you have it for a girl, you're doing it the wrong way." I have a personal story that you can use, but I want a quote before I send him. Like, yeah, tell me. I just can't say, well, Oneitis. Here's my story. When I was 16, I met a girl, let's call her Franny. She was 2 years older than me, and our fathers were both cops who were killed in the line of duty when we were young. That's very sad. We bonded over the course of that summer, and I fell in love. And he spells it, not love, but WUV. W-U-V. WUV. Marriage. When school started back up, I went my own way, and I didn't talk to her for most of my senior year. I got her to be my prom date, but prom itself was disappointing and really didn't accomplish much besides making my friends jealous. For some reason, after prom was over, I decided I wanted to see Franny more often. And I wasted the summer chasing after her. However, I was inexperienced and was thinking with my dick instead of my brain, and I fucked up any chance I had of fucking her. It was fucking embarrassing, and it took me way too long to get over her. I wasted my summer trying to date a girl who really isn't that pretty. My time would have been much better spent working out more, or at least on girls that actually did want to hang out with me. There were one or two that did, but I completely ignored them. Looking back on it, I realized I never actually liked her, but I love the idea of dating her. This is what Oneitis can evolve into if you aren't careful. If it gets this bad, I would recommend dating girls you have no interest in so you can start thinking clearly. I say, okay, well, let's talk about Oneitis. All right. Oneitis is essentially premature pair bonding. What the hell's pair bonding? Pair bonding is falling in love. But it's on more of a genetic or biological Darwinistic level because some creatures, humans included, pair bond with one person, male, female, to create families and children. And since the gestation period of a human baby is 9 months, it takes them damn well near 18 years to get ready. In the case of the millennials, 25 years to grow up. It's important that animals pair bond for the long haul to help effectively raise these children for survival and perpetuation of the species. So, pair bonding, it's a real thing. It's probably the strongest force in human psychology. But what can happen, and this is why predominantly younger men have Oneitis and not older men, is that your brains are not fully developed, nor do you have the experience. Not until you're at least 25. 25 is when the male brain finally is fully developed. But then people under 25, men particularly, get Oneitis. So they fall in love with the girl. This girl has to be, it's the one. And then when she doesn't want to go out with you or doesn't reciprocate your feelings or you break up for whatever, she doesn't want to get back together with you, it's crushing and devastating. And the reason why, at least I speculate, I'm no biological, Darwinistic, evolutionist type of person, but the reason why it's so crushing is because that you, on a psychological, genetic, Darwinistic, biological level, we're already starting to pair bond to this person, coming up with the idea. Your brain's finally starting, you start noticing girls like, hey, boobs. Why she didn't have that last year in school? Why she got the boobs now? What happened in summer? What's in the water? Then you find out you like the girls physically. Well, then you might actually start developing emotional leanings or wantings or desires for women as well. And just like younger, just like, I want those, but I don't know how to get them. It's the same thing with falling in love with a girl. It's happening to an immature brain. There's no safeguards. You're not fully developed yet, and you don't have the experience. And so then this is where you become essentially addicted. Like, this is the one. I need the one. Well, we're going to grow up. And it's sad. It's cute, but it's more sad than it is cute because it's like, oh, look, you're like a proto-husband. You're like you think she's going to be your proto-wife, and you guys are going to have kids. And this isn't exactly unheard of or there's anything wrong with it. Because back in the olden days, girls could start breeding at 13. Men started noticing, men could start breeding at 13. That's nature telling you you're prepared to have kids. And so all of a sudden finding that first true love of yours, or this girl you really like, or even the idea, maybe you don't really like her, but you like the idea of liking her, I would theorize and speculate that comes from millions of years worth of evolution and psychological conditioning and even hardwiring, that all of a sudden you find a girl that in your undeveloped brain as of yet thinks, oh, that could be a family. And then all of a sudden you think, well, yeah, it could be a family. I really like her. And then, or you actually do love the girl. That's another thing where you do love the girl, but then the girl doesn't love you back, or didn't love you as much. She leaves, and it is devastating and crushing to you, because what it's telling you, I mean, I know there's a rejection. Nobody likes rejection. But again, to your undeveloped mind, your inexperienced mind, and also a non-galvanized mind, a non-toughened up mind or heart, one might say. It's basically being denied future propagation. You are not going to share your genetics. You're not going to breed. And so it strikes right at the core of your existence, your evolution, your life and purpose for being, blah, 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 blah. And so you're just devastated. Now, a couple things happen that eventually you get over Oneitis, and I'm going to tell you how to get over it if you have it, or at least how I think about it. But it does go away. It does. Not necessarily that you have it, but it's like getting mononucleosis. Once you get it, you'll never get it again because you're immune. Because that first devastating experience hardens your brain and kind of breaks your heart a little bit to the point you'll never let a girl that close again. You're not to say you're not incapable of love, but you're not going to get that worked up. Like, you guys all remember, you all know, this always happened to you. And this happens to girls too. But there was that one girl where you're like, wow! And it wasn't Oneitis. You weren't crushing on her. You're just like, this is the one. Holy shit! Is she fun? And we got together. Everything's going great. And then she just didn't call you back the after you called her the next day, or she also, I got a boyfriend. Oh, it's just that. It's like, what? We were having such a how? What? Those things too will also further gather it. But the point I was making, we all have that experience. Well, oh my God, holy shit, you were on cloud nine, you were skipping, you were having a grand old time, and then the crushing blow where it's like, you're stronger, or they just never called you back. It's not like you had Oneitis, but that's about the happiest you get in your entire life, that childlike young 20-something's naivete. Like, you always say, man, I'm in love, what a day this has been, what a swell mood I'm in, I could swear I was falling in love. That kind of faggoty bullshit. Yeah, that gets kicked out of you real quickly in life because, the girl didn't call you back, the guy didn't call you back. And so you just can't get back up to that high again. You can't get that emotionally invested. Cynicism starts to seep in, and it's not cynicism. I love having, you're such a pessimist, and then all of a sudden I'm like the only one not divorced without getting raped in ass court, or getting raped in ass court, getting raped in divorce court, getting raped in the ass at divorce court. Because that cynicism paid off. You don't expose yourself that much anymore. So as time goes on and women reject you more and more, the happiest, or I should say the happiest, but the most optimistic you'll be, singing and dancing, you'll never have that happen again because the girl will not want to go out wherever she will break up with you. Again, not necessarily a girl that you have Oneitis for, but one you're just like, holy shit. And then after a while, it just, I hate to sound so sad, but men's hearts kind of get worn down, I'd say, more than broken. Certainly some get broken, but some just get worn down and calloused up. And then your testosterone starts going down, and you're like, yeah, books seem really interesting now. Red Dead Redemption, I haven't played that in a while. And so you're not going to develop Oneitis again, in part because you're getting older, more experienced, and calloused up to rejection. And then also, your brain is just evolving and developing. You don't have that childlike naivete where you just be duped. You can fool kids on anything. little 4-year-old niece of mine, I can tell her any lie and play any trick on her. But then she gets older and smarter. It's the same thing kind of with anybody else. But men, by the age of 25, your brain is fully developed, and you're not this. I mean, even take right now. Let's say you're a 25-year-old guy, although you could be any age. Can you imagine the stupid ass, dumbass bullshit you did when you were a kid? Like, I remember, picking flowers for a girl in the 7th grade. I thought she'd like them because they're pretty. I mean, it's sad to think that would be rejected or mocked and ridiculed. But only from a independent third-party position. But now as you're older, you look at that and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe what a fucking idiot you were. You didn't know. How old are you in the 7th grade? 13, 14? You don't know shit. And so all of a sudden you start wrestling with the powers of love and pair bonding. Yeah. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, whenever that first one comes along, unless you've had mononucleosis, you do not have the immunity built up to it. And so it's absolutely devastating. So, how do you conquer Oneitis? Well, it will go away. Once you get it, you'll probably never get it. It'll never come back again. But if you have it now, and there's a girl, it's a very simple solution. You have to acknowledge that in order for a relationship to work, both parties want to be participants in it. And if the girl doesn't or a guy doesn't, it's not going to work. And you only torture yourself trying to get this girl to go out or convince her or anything like that. The absolute best thing for you to do is to just cut it out. It's not say you're not going to be hurt or emotionally distraught, but I heard of people going for years, like multiple years, talking to therapists. I think the worst breakup I ever had, I think I was wiped out solidly for 3 months, partially for 6, and after 6, I was pretty much, hey, we're back. I was like, wow. And it also helped us obtain this blonde with a nice set of tits. That also helps with recovery. I highly recommend blondes with a nice set of tits. Anyway, where was I going? Now I'm just thinking about her tits. They were nice. They were nice fucking nipples and everything. It was really nice. What was I talking about? The recovering. Oh, you have to accept the reality. Not that there's nothing in your power you can do. This girl just doesn't like you that much, or didn't like you at all, or I liked you at one time, but then you screwed up and she went away. That's done. That's over. You're not going to get her back. It's done. And the only way you get her back, she has to come back to you. So it's out of your control, right? The other thing, and this is something to give you an incentive to think about, if you keep trying and you worry and you just like don't respect her choice not to go out with you, that is pushing, if not is, stalking. Now, I understand you want to try and maybe woo her back or woo her in the first place, get her to go out with you. But after a while, if she's not going out with you, she ain't returning your calls, it's done. It's over. And if you keep pushing it, now you're a stalker. And that's bad because you are not respecting that person's individuality and rights to choose for herself. You got to respect the women's to decide. Same thing with women. I don't know if you guys have had, so I've had two. They're not fun. And they're evil because they don't give a shit about you. They want you as a fucking thing. And so it's the same thing you're doing to them. You're not giving any consideration to them. If you really loved them, if you really cared about them, you would care above all else, including your own desires, what that person wanted. And if that's the case, you will respect her decision not to want to date you or go out with you. And it may suck, but then you move on. And that is the classiest, most prideful way to leave. That's the classiest way to get over Oneitis. Harassing them, trying to talk to them, call them, whatever. Now, admittedly, this does happen. Women are cowards and won't tell you. So there's like this discovery period. You got to figure out, like, wait, she really liked my money. But after a while, it's not. And a lot of times, it's nothing you did. She just doesn't like you. But you're gonna have to like sniff things out. Like, hey, I thought, hello, and then they don't allow it. The worst is this: they don't call you back, and they don't come up to you and make a clean break. So you gotta almost, there's this little hope or shred. No, there's no hope or shred. You gotta give up on it. You gotta quit. If the girl doesn't call you back, it's over. Move on. And then soon, this is what it's like to become a man. You're less emotional. You're much more in control of your feelings. You don't get worked up your expectations and hopes are more guarded and restrained. You're more empirical, and it's. But these are all things that part of becoming a man, and you'll not get oneitis again. But most guys get it. Usually it's devastating. I'd say, unfortunately, it's a necessary part of dating. But to make it easier for you, just remember, it takes two people to have a successful relationship. And if she doesn't want to date you, it's over for you. Okay? If you keep hounding her, now you're pushing harassment and becoming a stalker. And then 3, most women don't have the balls or the courage to tell you the truth up front what it is. You got to suss that out. And then you just got to realize, what is her behaviors telling you, not what her words are. What is her behaviors telling you? Dude, if a girl likes you, it's easy. They'll show up on time. They'll suck your dick. It's not hard. It's just like, oh yeah, there they are. But then the girls, you can tell. You can tell. But for the love of God, do not keep hounding them. You got oneitis, girl doesn't call you. It's over. It's over. Get over it. Move on. Dating other girls helps, certainly. Immersing yourself into other productions and productivities, that helps out as well. But it is acknowledging and respect. There's a line you're going to cross pretty soon, and not only is it moral, or immoral in this case, it can also be illegal. So make sure you're not fucking up like that. And then you know what? The only kind of real revenge you can get, if you want to get revenge, I know that's on a lot of guys' minds, is you just go out and you have a successful life. And you fine, get another chick or something like that. But just like skipping away, forgetting, leaving it behind in the past, moving on, that is the best you can do. And there are a lot of guys where, I'm not going to find it. You will. You're just a 17-year-old idiot kid. There's other girls out there. You just don't know it yet. And because you haven't dated that much. But yeah, that's what it is, premature pair bonding. And so once you realize your brain will evolve and experience will toughen you up a bit, you're never going to get it again. It's a one-off thing. So, all right, hope that helped out. You guys got any questions, go captaincapitalism.blogspot.com, read my blog. If you got questions, you can go and send them to me at assholeconsulting.com. This is a paid service. This is not charity. I get paid money for my time. And then if you can't afford consultations, which I totally understand, but you have extra time, you can read any one of my many books that have a lot of answers to your questions. You can get the Bachelor Pad Economics, Worthless, Curse of the High IQ, Reconnaissance Man, Enjoy the Decline. These are all good books. Black Man's Guide Out of the Poverty. You can get them on Amazon.com. Check them out. They're on audiobook as well, because I know a lot of people don't like to read. But for the 5-6 hours of time you spend listening to some of those books, you're going to save yourself a world of pain, agony, and hurt. Not to mention a lot of money, too. So, all right, we'll see you kids later. Toodles.